Cardon Children's Medical Center, providing comprehensive pediatric care for Arizona's families.
Today, you guys, we are going to talk about our brains. Our brains are so important. I come into the schools every month to do injury prevention. So every month we do something different. So this time it was to get in and talk about helmets and how important they are. Your brain's also telling you what you're seeing. I'm here to touch as many children as I can. I'm not going to reach every single one, but hopefully I reach the children, and through them I also reach the parents. Every time I come in and talk about something, I send something home to the parents in English and Spanish. So as far as bicycle helmets, can we and do we make a difference? Yeah, every year I give out close to 1,500 or more bicycle helmets, and I fit them to every single head. I realize I'm not going to get every kid to wear it, but this school is a great example. I said, okay, I'll furnish all the helmets, but you have to make this school a helmet required school. So we just looked at the bicycle rack here after school, and when I was doing this 3 to 4 years ago, I had maybe a 1% rate of kids wearing helmets, and now we're at a 70. Am I going to reach everyone? Probably not. You're going to have those kids that always think they're 10 foot tall and bulletproof and don't need helmets, but I have a lot of kids there that wouldn't have been in helmets if I hadn't been here. The problem with this bone, you guys, if I could just take off this bone and we could just look at it for just a minute. The thing is that this bone is very, very thin. Do you guys see how thin it is? Yeah. Yeah, if you feel your arm bones, they're thick. Your bones in your arms are thick, but this is very, very thin. Could I put a cast on your brain? No. No. Even the doctors that just work on your brain, they're brain doctors, they would tell you that they can't always make your brain all better. I think the biggest factor is the cool factor. They just don't think it's cool. So many of those kids and their parents have never seen that kid that has left-sided deficits, so they're weak on their left side and can't move their left side, or have been to a funeral where a kid has died because they didn't have a helmet on. Talk about not cool. That's not cool. Wearing a helmet, the helmets nowadays, you can have the BMX helmets, you can have so many different helmets, and they are way more cool than not being able to use part of your body anymore.
Get stuck.
It stops, right? Yeah. And you keep going forward, and your head goes down, and it hits the sidewalk. So you hit right here. What did your brain do?
Wiggled.
It wiggled. Your brain can actually go forward, and it can hit the bone that's supposed to protect it. And as it hits that bone, it can get a big owie right here. So it can bruise that part of your brain. That's the part that helps us talk and helps us to remember. How would you guys like it if you couldn't remember who you were anymore, or couldn't remember mom or dad anymore? Would you guys be so sad? You know, I think that's a huge part of it. Kids see what you do, and they're going to mirror after you. And that's why I always encourage, you know, the rule at my house is if you're going to be on something with wheels, you have to have a helmet on. It doesn't matter if you're an adult or a kid. Because if I expect my kids to do it, then I better be doing it too. And that's how every parent should look at it. What's it going to take? Well, as we all know, it really takes a law to make the parents do something, but it shouldn't take a law. Parents should know that your kid can die. And it's head injuries we're talking about. When we're talking about bikes and scooters and skateboards and rollerblades, roller skates, head injury is the #1 injury. And we can't fix your brain. Okay? Once it's injured, it's injured. So that should be something that should be all it takes, but unfortunately it doesn't. You know, as I see that, it is very, very frustrating, but I learned with injury prevention, you learn to walk backwards and you see how much you've done instead of how far we have yet to go. And if I save one kid's life, I've made a huge difference. And I'm hoping that, you know, it will be that one kid that I touch that makes a difference.
Bikes, helmets are important because cars can crash into you, and it could be hard, and your mom is going to be sad, and maybe you could die. Because you could crash and you can hurt your brain really, really bad. I think that sometimes it's dangerous, and I just want to go over to tell them to wear a bike helmet, and I just want to tell them that if you don't have a bike helmet, just tell your mom to go buy one.